Let's get started because all eyes are on the Brett Kavanaugh hearing right now. This is a live look at the hearing at this moment. We will be monitoring it and bringing you all the latest as it happens. So far, it has been a roller coaster of emotions. Dr. Ford got choked up recounting her claim of the sexual assault from more than 35 years ago, and she also joked about needing caffeine. Meanwhile, Republican and Democratic senators have been trading barbs, but largely seem civil and respectful in their interactions with Dr. Ford. Let's get right to digital producer Kelly Schuberth with the latest at the hearing. Kelly.
Sam, I've been watching this hearing for about 4 hours now, tracking it minute by minute in real time. Here's a live look from the hearing on Capitol Hill right now. Christine Ford is being questioned by Rachel Mitchell, who is questioning her on behalf of Republican senators. But just minutes ago, Senator Mazie Hirono had a message for Ford. Listen.
I believe the reaction we have seen to this coverage right now and your courage all over this country shows us that we're not alone. You're not alone. That women and men all across America are disgusted and sick and tired of the way basic human decency has been driven from our public life.
I'm going to continue watching this, and I will bring you any updates as soon as I have them.
Thank you so much, Kelly. And we are watching this live right with you. We're monitoring it. We're processing the emotions. Jeff, after hearing her testimony, what did you feel? Do you find her credible as many people as I believe that she is?
You know, I have a hard time with this whole thing. Not a hard time in the sense of what happened to her allegedly or didn't. I have a hard time in defending the other side. How do you defend Kavanaugh? What could I say in defense of Kavanaugh without me coming out looking like a white 40-year-old bigot that this happened to? I went to college. I wasn't in a fraternity. I didn't have privilege at Yale like this. How do I even begin to take the other side without being labeled or put into the same category as people like this? How do I do that? So what do you want me to say?
Thank you, Jeff. Thank you. Because that's a reasonable response. People out there are feeling like they are crazy. People are triggered incredibly today. I was listening to this coverage. I cried for 15 minutes in the shower, and I couldn't figure out why. This is the deal. When someone comes and says, like, you listen to something like this, that's a respectable and understandable reaction. I am questioning now not why someone would wait 30 years to come out and say something. I'm questioning why certain people are protesting so much. What do you have to hide? Why is that affecting you so much? Why is it so deeply personal to you? Because I know why I'm triggered. So what's triggering you? So now I'm looking at a whole lot of people who ask, why would you wait 30 years? That doesn't make any sense. Why, gentlemen, do you protest so much, methinks?
Yeah.
Because now I'm really wondering, that's a reasonable question. You want to learn more. You want to understand it. Not, well, it's been 30 years and that could have happened, because at the end of the day, I'm thinking, well, you probably have some skeletons in your closet that if you admit to this, it's coming out too. So now I'm looking back at you. So those mirrors go both ways.
Wow. Yeah. Well, Erica, thank you. Dr. Ford began her statement reading from this prepared testimony, and it was a powerful moment. Let's listen.
I thought it was my civic duty to relay the information I had about Mr. Kavanaugh's conduct so that those considering his nomination would know about this assault. This was an extremely hard thing for me to do, but I felt that I couldn't not do it. My motivation in coming forward was to be helpful and to provide facts about how Mr. Kavanaugh's actions have damaged my life so that you could take into a serious consideration as you make your decision about how to proceed. It is not my responsibility to determine whether Mr. Kavanaugh deserves to sit on the Supreme Court. My responsibility is to tell you the truth.
And Kavanaugh will testify after Professor Ford is done and has left the room. He has adamantly denied the allegations against him, although he is expected to admit to drinking beer in high school and engaging in cringe-worthy behavior, as he calls it. 3 women have come forward with accusations of sexual misconduct against the Supreme Court nominee, and today's hearing is widely expected to seal his fate. It's been a really emotional morning. Erica, you talked about being triggered. I've been monitoring what people are saying on social media, and you're not alone. You're not alone. And it is so well ingrained in our society that I'm reading people that do believe her, but they don't care. So they believe her testimony, they believe what happened, but they are excusing it by saying, but boys will be boys, and he was 17 years old, and this shouldn't haunt him for the rest of his life. What would you say to that, Brandon?
And that's unfortunate that people are that one-track minded to believe that, because if this woman is coming out, she's got death threats, she's had her emails hacked, she's had to come forward and really show strength and courageousness to come forward in front of a sanitary judiciary committee to tell her story. So I look at it, regardless of what happens with this, women like that are motivational and inspirational, and you're just going to see more and more come out because they feel as though that you're seeing what happened, and they feel as though they have to tell their voice, they have to tell their truth.
Yeah, and we were just learning, like we told you, DBL Nation, we're live, we're monitoring this. We're just told that Judge Kavanaugh just left his house, so he must be on his way to the hearing. There, in fact, is some footage. He just left his house, so we will be seeing him at the hearing very shortly. Erica, just to piggyback on that point, because I'm getting so many tweets about it, so many comments, what would you say to the people that say he was just 17, boys will be boys? What would you say to them?
I think that I think it's really sad that women have to, that we have to explain to people why our bodies, why our minds, why we need, why they are ours and not for other people to corrupt and corrode. Like, that's not a conversation that I'm interested in having. Like, at that point, if you don't understand the fundamentals of human beings, I can't communicate with you. So honestly, I don't have a response.
I just want to follow back up with Jeff, because Jeff, you came into this confused, very honest. You didn't know how to articulate your thoughts and fear that you would be persecuted.
And I don't. And no matter what I say, I'm going to come off like that guy. So I could sit here and play the card of like, hey, I'm just innocent. I'm not going to say anything, and and say everything right. I know exactly what I need to say to be right, to move this segment along.
But you watched it.
But at the same time, the nail's in the coffin for this guy, and he hasn't even testified. We talk about being fair on both sides. I'm not saying she's lying. I'm not. And I'm not being inconsiderate to any women that went through this. I'm not. I'm saying we're so quick to judge as a society that this guy hasn't even testified. We just showed him leaving his house, and already the nail's in the coffin for this guy. Everyone's clapping about how this guy's innocent. He has a story to tell too. He very well might be guilty. I'm not saying that. I'm not. Please don't misconstrue my words. But he hasn't even said anything yet.
You just want to wait, right, for due process.
That's all. And I know what I'm going to look like when this airs. But I know.
No, it's not true. All right, this is great. I think it's important to have these conversations. Thank you, everybody, for being honest.